Dr. Kane was a doctor in New York City in the early 1900s, and over the course of his medical career, he had performed more than 4,000 appendectomies, removing somebody's appendix, major surgery. But in 1921, as he neared the end of his medical career, he wanted to perform one more. He wanted to perform an appendectomy using local anesthesia. In other words, instead of someone being put entirely to sleep during the procedure, they would be awake. At that time, nobody had ever used local anesthesia for a major surgery, and quite frankly, there weren't a whole lot of volunteers stepping forward for this one, people who were willing to be awake while a doctor would cut into them for a major surgery. But finally, one brave soul came forward to have the anesthesia applied while they would still be awake and have the surgery performed on them. And so the procedure went forward. The patient complained of only just a little minor discomfort, but for the most part, it was a success. But that wasn't the most remarkable part of this surgery. The most remarkable part of this surgery was actually the identity of the patient, because the patient, the brave soul who stepped forward to be operated on by Dr. Kane, was Dr. Kane himself. He numbed himself and performed the surgery on himself to prove that it was going to be okay. He was that committed to what he believed in. Do you think you would do the same thing? Would you put your body at such physical risk if you didn't know for sure how it was going to turn out? And would you go through that kind of thing if there were no anesthetic to numb the pain? And would you go through that kind of thing if people who hate you are the ones who are digging into your skin? And would you go through that kind of thing if a successful procedure in the minds of those who are carrying it out is one in which you end up dead on a cross-shaped piece of wood right there in front of them? And would you go through it if you didn't even know for sure that anyone was going to care or appreciate what you have done? The only reason you would is if you were that committed to what you believed in, if there was something that you valued in this world even more than your own life. And Jesus did. He valued you. He wanted you more than anything. He wanted you forgiven and right by his side in eternity in heaven. And if he was willing to go through all of that, the pain of a cross and the whip and the nails, just to make that happen, do you think he's really ever going to leave your side at any step of the way through your life? There's a passage that's often spoken at graduations or at times of graduations, a very famous one from the book of Philippians. Philippians chapter 4, verse 13 says, "I can do everything through him who gives me strength." And you know what that verse is not? It's not a promise that life is going to go just the way that you want. It's not even a promise that you really will be able to do everything that you set your mind to. It's just a reminder that through all the ups and downs of life, whether they're painful or pleasant, that you're never alone, that God will always be with you. And with Jesus walking with you, you really will get through anything.